One of the cool features of some of the virtual instruments in Pro Tools is that they are multi-timbral. This means they can play a couple of different instruments at the same time. Often people will use this to create a layered effect, as I have set up here on the Expand 2 module, where you have 3 different instruments assigned to 3 different nodes of this virtual synthesizer, all being triggered by the same MIDI channel. So I have one track set to MIDI channel 1, and I have it properly routed to this virtual instrument, so when I press a key, all 3 of these will sound simultaneously. I can turn one off, and you hear the difference. All back on. Alright, well that's a pretty useful feature, but something else that you can do with a multi-timbral instrument is assign 4 completely different instruments on 4 different MIDI channels, thereby doing the work of 4 virtual instruments with just one, which saves a lot of CPU resources. So let's set that up. Alright, first off, I'm going to assign different rhythm sounds to each of these 4 nodes. So I'll use, instead of the main patch menu, I'll use this sub menu. I'm going to choose percussion, and maybe I'll choose, how about drums? Here's a good one under drums. I'll choose the snares menu. Sorry, it's down in the bottom. For this one, I'll do the same. Drums, I'll choose the bass drums menu. They call it the kicks menu, that's bass drums. And I'll choose maybe the hi-hats menu under drums. And how about cowbells? Alright, what this basically means is instead of the traditional mapping of a drum kit across a keyboard where one note is the bass drum, the next note is the snare drum, etc., they're taking the entire keyboard and putting many snare samples all across the keyboard, many kick or bass drum samples. So if we put each of these on a different channel, one channel will be able to access all the snare sounds, another channel and MIDI track the bass drums, etc. So the next thing we need to do is change the MIDI channel. So I'm going to change 3 and 4. Now they're each on a separate channel. So if I play with something on MIDI 1, which is assigned, let's look at the mixing board, it's assigned to Expand 2 channel 1. That is the same as this channel here. I should hear snare drums hitting different keys, and we hear that. So if I play my sequence, I should hear the snare drum that's been recorded here. There it is. Notice that these other instrument clip showings are clear while this one is filled in. That means that this is actually assigned to an instrument, this track, so that the clips are now all highlighted. So I would need to assign these other ones. Right now they're assigned to none. As you can see here, it says none. So I'm going to go in and assign them to Expand channel 2 for the track that I'm calling MIDI 2, which has bass drum. Expand channel 3. And lastly, Expand channel 4. Notice now all the tracks are highlighted. MIDI 1 is assigned to channel 1 of the Expand instrument, MIDI 2 to channel 2, so forth. So if I were to record enable, for instance, channel 3, I should hear hi-hat sounds. If I was to record enable 2, I would hear bass drum sounds, and 4 should be some other percussion sounds somewhere on the keyboard. Alright. So now if I press play, I should see all, or hear all 4 of these tracks playing. Let's see. And there they are. Alright. So we're using one virtual instrument for 4 different drum sounds. Now we can edit each independently. The snare drum can be edited on its own track. It'll go to this node of the expand module. The bass drum track on MIDI 2, bass drum sounds, will go to this node, which is on channel 2. And we can adjust the parameters of them separate. It's very versatile this way.